Another day, another example of people being arrested for their speech in Scotland, except this time it happened to people that you wouldn't expect. Well, at least I've been expecting it. The Pink Peacock faces criminal charges over a fuck the police tote bag. Britain's police power trip continues apace as the co-owner of the Glasgow cafe is charged with a breach of the peace. Now, to give you a bit of information about the Pink Peacock, they were nice enough to spray paint it on a bit of scrap wood and at the front of their cafe. It is a queer Yiddish pay what you can cafe. That sounds like a horrendous business model. I'm going to go in and say I would like to have everything in the shop for a penny. It's pay what I can. I'll take it all. I'll take the whole shop. I will give you a shiny pound coin. The Pink Peacock hasn't even opened its doors yet and is already ruffling blue feathers. On Monday, around 1:30 p.m, Morgan Hollab and Joe Isaac, founders of the Glasgow-based queer Yiddish anarchist Pay What You Can cafe, were tucking into lunch and an episode of Star Trek when they received a visit from the police. The officers told the pair they were suspected of breaching the peace for displaying a fuck the police tote bag in their shop window. Well, sorry, that's hate speech. That's hate speech. That's offensive. That's grossly offensive. And unfortunately, you don't get to decide what is hate speech or what is grossly offensive. The government does. The government gets to do that. Why do you think the government's more than happy to pass these hate speech laws? Like, the people that go, yeah, we want these laws to protect people from the mean internet words. Like, those people, like, yeah, you can get the law passed, but you don't get to decide what is offensive speech or what is hate speech. The government does. And here's an example of it happening. Like, that fuck the police bag being in the window has been defined as offensive speech, and you are now in a lot of trouble for it. I mean, if only we had freedom of speech in Scotland, but, you know, and I try my best not to assume too much, but I'm gonna guess that a Yiddish anarchist queer pay what you can cafe might not be pro free speech. I'm just, you know, if I'm wrong, then I'm wrong. I would be happy to be wrong. You know, the more people supporting free speech, the better. But given that, I don't think they are. Hollab was uncertain whether the police were cautioning, charging, or even arresting him. In footage obtained from a camera Hollab installed in his front door, the officers are ambiguous. Oh, the cops love doing that. I'm going to caution a charge of breach of the peace. I'm going to charge you, but before I charge you, I'm going to caution you. What was clear to Hollab, who spoke to Vashti via Zoom, was that what the police were really doing was trying to intimidate us. Yeah, the cops do that. The officers handed Hollab neither a formal caution nor a charge sheet, only a calling card in which they ticked a box labelled "Incident Reported." In police jargon, an incident is an event the police are unsure is criminal. Yeah, that is true. The police go, we think this might be a crime, but we're not sure. We'll be back. We'll be back once we figure out how to do our jobs. Hollab only realised he'd been charged with a crime after seeing a story in the Glasgow Times. 5 minutes after leaving, the officers were back. They told Hollab they needed to seize the tote bag as evidence and to escort him to the cafe to retrieve it. Okay, Hollab thought, we'll make a spectacle out of it. The spectacle was captured by Isaac and posted on the cafe's Twitter. And that's the bag there. It's obviously in the back in Yiddish or Hebrew or whatever. I'm not well versed in that. And then it says, fuck the police with some squashes and a parsnip and a leek. Because, you know, whatever, I mean, obviously, if you want to go to the farmer's market, you obviously have to do it in style. FTP, bro. And then the police did come back to seize the tote bag. And this is them filming it, which, yep, absolutely. Like, 100% absolutely. Anytime the police are doing anything, get your cameras out. Get your cameras out right away. Because sometimes the police like it because they like having a bit of evidence, but see if the police... It's just... See when the police are doing something and they tell you to stop filming, that just immediately makes me think, you're up to something. You're up to something. You're about to plant something. You're about to do some stuff you know is sketchy and you don't want there being a video record of it. So there they are. They've taken They've taken the bag. They're taking it out the window to give to the police. And they're obviously... Did they actually just... No, they sellotaped it to the window. That's brilliant. Oh, they've been better. Oh, no, you need to wait until the officer... See if the officer was staring in the window and they waited... And just as the officer's looking in the window, they just stick it right in front of their face, right in front of the officer. No, you should have waited. You should have waited till the officer was looking right in the window. You should have done it to the front door where the officer was. Ah, that's such a wasted opportunity. Bravo for still doing it, but you should have done it in the officer's face. It's fine, it's too late now. With its hot pink facade and spicy signage, Pink Peacock has become a magnet for the culture warfare raging in Scotland and across the country. Tuesday's episode is the third the cafe. It's the third. The cops have came in a few times. Fended off in less than a week. On Wednesday, the Scottish Sun published a hit piece on the Anarchy Diner saying it had sparked fury by banning cops and TERFs. Editor's note, we've hijacked the Wayback Machine to capture the article so as not to direct traffic to the Sun. Yeah, fair enough. The Sun are... Yeah, the Sun are scum. The following night, a man painted over the shop front, which also had its window smashed on the 27th of May, though it is unclear whether the attack was targeted. As someone who used to work for as a bouncer for a while, a smashed shop window it's never, I would say 99 times out of 100, it's not targeted. It's just some guy that's had too many and he's having a bad day. Last night, an avid Sun reader painted over our window but was stopped by some lovely comrades who caught him on camera and took his paint off him. In fact, there's the guy there. He was just painting directly on the window. Like, I thought when they said painted, he painted some, like, rude graffiti or, like, something like that, but he's literally just using, like, white emulsion and a roller to paint the window. I don't get that. As far as, like, vandalism goes, that's just weird. Alright. Still, Holub has been keen to emphasise that the opposition to the cafe is far less than he expected. They've conducted dozens of risk assessments for every eventuality, virtually none of which they've had to use, and predominantly online. In the 7 months the shop has been on Victoria Road, only one person has been hostile face-to-face, an older woman who entered while Holub was painting and told him to take down the tote bag. Okay, well, we've found our snitch. He refused and offered to explain why. The conversation ended at an amicable impasse. She accepted that we weren't just being contrarians. But she still snitched, you know she did. Holub is also hesitant to overstate the policing of Pink Peacock as a majority white organisation. I felt safe to be sassy back then, he said. Others in Govan Hill, an area ranked among the 10% most deprived in Scotland and with a large South Asian population, do not. When Hussein Mitha, they, a Muslim person of colour, photographed the officer standing outside the cafe, they followed them to a nearby hardware shop and questioned them. Yeah, police intimidation. When Mitha refused to engage, the officers told him not to be aggressive and teased him about his hat. Thankfully, the incident didn't escalate. Both Holub and Mitha say that mistrust of the police is widespread across Glasgow's south side. It's widespread to quite a few places. I'm not the most trustworthy person. I don't trust the police that much myself. Got to be very careful about what tweet I might post that might bring about the downfall of the country or cause some loser to have a mental breakdown. The cops are not recognised as people that keep the community safe, said Mitha. It's just that Pink Peacock feels more able to advertise it. We don't have the same vulnerability as other groups, said Holub. This is not the first time the police have attempted to criminalise leftists for strongly worded posters. In 2010, David Hoffman, a photojournalist and well-known documenter of police brutality and the far right, was handcuffed in his East London home after displaying a poster of David Cameron with the word wanker. In 2017 to 18, yeah, I've spoken about this one before, Glasgow anarchist David McCarg was arrested twice for putting up a similar poster that read, "Fuck off, you Tory cunts." I think it wasn't fuck off you. I think it just said fuck off Tory cunts. I think that's what it said. Kevin Blow, campaigns coordinator for the Network for Police Monitoring, NetPol, is certain that in Holub's case, as in Hoffman and McCarg's, the police charges have no basis in law, but I would go further to say that it was a violation of freedom of speech. The police have in fact violated your rights there. Wouldn't it be really, really nice if we had laws to protect freedom of speech? Protect freedom of speech, because this is the thing is when you ban the other side, you know, it's only fair that some of the stuff you do gets banned as well. So wouldn't it be nice if it was all enshrined and protected in law, and none of these stupid hate speech laws or offence laws or breach of the peace laws for hanging a bag in a shop window? Oh, the article's going on a wee bit. Kevin Blow campaigns coordinator. We've read that part. Hold on, this is the kind of genuine threat. Oh, no, hold on, I'm reading this part. This is the kind of genuine threat to freedom of expression from the state that is far more important than anything imagined by right-wing free speech culture warriors. What? Yeah. The cops coming in and arresting us and taking us away to jail for making jokes, or literally Silicon Valley, which controls 80% of the dialogue on the English-speaking internet, pretty much banning an entire side of the spectrum, absolutely pales in comparison to you not being able to hang a tote bag in your window. Yeah, Antifa threatening to petrol bomb our events and fucking threatening and assaulting people. There's nothing, absolutely nothing compared to hanging a tote bag in a window. Jesus Christ, this is a person. This is echo chamber. This statement right here, utter echo chamber crap. Absolute echo chamber crap. He said in an email to Vashti, adding that the Pink Peacock should seriously consider legal action against Police Scotland. Yes, I agree. Even though that is one of the dumbest statements that I've ever seen. That you still absolutely should do legal action against the police. A spokesperson from Police Scotland said police in Glasgow received complaints from the public regarding an item displaying offensive language in the window of premises in the Victoria Road area of Govan Hill. We can confirm that a 32-year-old man, editor's note, Holub uses he/him pronouns and is non-binary, which he made clear to the officers during their visit, has been charged in connection with a breach of the peace, and the item has been removed from the premises. Though not without historical precedent, it's easy to see why Glasgow might feel a particular need to assert their authority at this moment. About a month ago, and just a few streets away from the cafe, is the one where they put illegal immigrants off the van. And from what I have heard, I haven't confirmed this, those men have now disappeared, and no one has any idea where they are. I mean, geez, just really, really better hope that they weren't involved in any terrorism or criminal organisations or anything like that. Hey ho, better hope so. Immigration control. Is the rest of this just about that nonsense? But yeah, there's been a few other things as well, because I found their Twitter. And it says here that some of our directors have just had the cops show up at their home address to charge us with breach of the peace, and this was just yesterday, for displaying the fuck the police tote bag in the cafe's window. This is an obvious attempt to intimidate us, but it's not going to work. Yes. They now see the fuck the police thing hanging in the window. Protected freedom of speech. If it's offensive, just walk past the bag, go about your day, stop being so weak. But, that comment. This is so much more serious than anything dreamed up by the right wing culture wars. Oh, fuck me. Oh, superb. Oh, that's great. But anyway, in regards to this, you know, they can run their shop in whatever way they see fit. You know, it's their shop, their business, their rules. That's absolutely fine. Run your business whatever way you want. If you want to have a fuck the police tote bag hanging in the window, that is your protected right to freedom of speech and freedom of expression. And I am sure you will join me in agreeing that everyone deserves the exact same rights, because that's how rights work. Including for things like, you know, hate speech, which, what's the definition of it today? Hate speech means everything right wing. Everything right wing. Yes, I believe. Although, hold on, I said that at 6:05. It's now 6:06, so the definition might have changed. I'm not sure. It's very hard to keep up, right? But if you believe in freedom of speech in this instance, then I'm sure you will agree that it's essential for everyone. But obviously, no one. we righties who get all of our social media accounts banned constantly and fired from our jobs because of who we voted for and stuff like that. I mean, it absolutely pales in comparison. It pales in comparison to being able to hang a tote bag in your shop window. Yeah. But anyway, yes, these guys have freedom of speech just like everyone else. Though they probably don't agree the same for us, but still it's important that we remain consistent and principled because, well, that's what separates us from them. Yes, freedom of speech, glorious, beautiful. Oh, Scotland's just going right down the pan.